All right, you guys ready to go through this? Paul, did I see you registered?
Yeah, I think you did.
Awesome. I love it. Lisa, have you registered yet?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm here for this informational session, to see if this fits.
I was pretty excited. We had Margaret from University of Sewing had signed up, so hopefully she'll be wandering over pretty soon.
Have you got a lot of signs?
We are at, I think, 8 or 9.
Okay.
So we kind of doubled the number in the past couple of days.
It's
so-
that last minute thing where everybody.
We were just talking about that the other day. Startup Summer was the same way. It just kind of
Yeah.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the grant will support up to 17 to 20, so
Okay.
we're halfway there. It starts in a month.
Yeah. Julie was talking. Adams with Oliver was trying to get somebody over here from Oliver Winery to take it. So I'm gonna let her know. She was asking me too.
I feel like,
We're recording it so that.
yeah, we can pull some content from it. Oh, that reminds me. I also wanted to audio record it to do transcription. Yeah, I feel like Oliver reached out to me at the,
Yeah.
is that who that
They were
was?
one of the early people to respond to it.
Okay.
And they haven't signed up yet, so I completely
No,
forgot
she
about
said
them.
They've got some AI intern over there or something like that, and that's
Oh.
what they're focusing on. But Julie would encourage them to just send somebody over here. So
It's also good to know.
Oh, wow. All right, so we will run through this. I just kind of put a little slide deck together to get some conversations started on kind of where we are looking at this, the way the grant was built, the businesses we're looking for, why it is kind of important to kind of get everybody's hands around it at this point. But I mean, in general, it's no code AI. It's a way to get the business streamlined in specific capacities to help you gain time back so you can work on something else. And with the grant funding we have, it's going to allow us to have the attendees of the cohorts will have access to Replit for a year. So as we get into this and you start building, the idea is that you take that to the next level, maybe start something else that incorporates with it. Because every time you do something like that, you can bring 1, 2, 3 hours of your time back to you. So that's the kind of a whole goal in a little nutshell is how do we give businesses time back to grow the business instead of trying to manage the business. Focuses on implementation, and the goal is practical progress are the 2 key points there. So we're going to be, at this point, we're still focused on using Replit. And the idea with Replit is that it's an entire ecosystem in itself. We were first discussing what it would look like if we use Claude Code. But with that, we would need an external database as well as something to display it to you or the public. So that became very cost prohibitive. So we've been looking at Replit. I've used it before, so I'm very familiar with it. It's gained a ton of progress over the past year. So a lot of their features in there. So whatever you build, it can live in there until you become proficient enough and maybe you want to move it to a production site. Then you can take that code. We would need to work with it a little bit, but you'll be able to move that into something that is more stable. So think of something like using Claude Code with Supabase and Cursor. Those 3 tools, I get it.
Yeah.
So it would take something like that to do the same thing Replit can do on a really, really low scale. And I mean, I say low scale, but I've built stuff in other systems like Replit, and it's enough that it could 1,000 people be on there? Probably. Could 10,000 people? You might be stretching the limits of the access of what the bandwidth is on that. So there's a lot of opportunity to not only build something that can save you guys time, but build something that could help customers and them spending less time getting to you and vice versa. So the goal of the program is that everybody's going to build something specific to their business. And at the end of 6 weeks, you'll be able to take a tangible product and apply that to your day-to-day. And we did set aside some time, I think it's in the 4th or 5th class, to bring a team member in from your business, if there is one. And the idea is to give you practice to teach somebody how to use that, because that's going to help you understand it a little bit better. What this program is not. So this is not a general AI 101 lecture. We're not going to I've got some sheets of kind of keywords, but we are not going to go down rabbit holes. I've been down them. So hopefully I'm not going to take you with me down those. It's not a coding boot camp, so these will be working sessions. We'll be using each other for ideas, especially when it comes to like the prompt building and what it means to just throw something in there versus like actually building that prompt to tell the system what to do. Because AI is predictive, right? So it's gonna assume what you don't tell it. And we don't want that, because that's where bugs get into the system and security flaws happen. So the clearer everybody can be in that prompting, that's probably going to be a majority of that first class, is how do we write that to structure it correctly so we get a working model. I mean, fingers crossed, everybody, as long as you have a good path of where you want to go, we should have something working by the end of the first session. And you guys can get an idea of what it can do, what it can't do, what it does this, but I also need it to do that. Replic's going to be good as well, because if you want it to tie into, do you want to create a chatbot for your website? We can do that and then add that into the bottom corner of the website, so it could almost become your salesperson. So it just depends on really what you're looking for. So that between now and Friday, that's kind of the key of, what do I want to build? And I've got some questions and answers that I can share. At the end of the day, we don't want it to guess. We want you to be able to explain to it what you need. And on the back end, this is going to help you in problem solving, because as you start building that next thing, you're going to really sit back and think about your business and, what do I need it to do? What can it do? And is it possible? Those are kind of the three big things. I wrote on here, not custom software development. I'm kind of laughing at that now. I mean, because you are kind of basically building custom software. Right. So here's a quick list of people who should apply. Like I said, the idea is that these are non-technical people. We don't need you to know anything about coding. You're not going to see the code unless you really want to look at it. You're going to have a conversation like we're having right now. So it'll be super easy, super fluid. There's ways to correct problems. There's ways to go back and kind of reset to where you were before. So the system's usable enough that you're not, even if you get stuck, we can get you unstuck.
Do you want questions now or wait?
Whenever. Okay. It's fine, yeah.
How familiar do you expect that people are with AI?
Based on the applications that we've seen come in so far, it's pretty diverse. Okay. I would say on a basic level, everybody's had some type of interaction with like a ChatGPT.
Okay. Okay.
We have some people that are product developers. One person is on the team that did Drill, that is now with Paragraph. Okay. So I mean, and that's what we're trying to do, right? Is we're trying to get. We can't segment it because that would be too difficult. But we also don't want a bunch of technical founders in. Now, I don't know what Drill is off the top of my head. I don't think it's AI driven, but somebody had to write that program. So, their process is probably like, what can we get what can we get this to do to build faster? And that's where I think a lot of teams are going on this. There was an article a month or two ago, a team at Google built something in basically a month that would have taken them 18 months. So to just see where this has come, even in the last year and a half since I've been building things, is
So you don't
pretty amazing.
need to have done Claude, ChatGPT programming and
Nope.
things like that prior. Okay.
If you can type a sentence, we're good to go.
Sweet. I'll work on it.
Or depending on the tool, I haven't checked Replit lately, but it should have a text, a voice to text option as well. So, and sometimes when I'm frustrated enough, I go in the board or in the conference rooms, and the voice to text works really well. Especially when it does things I didn't want it to do. That's probably the biggest thing I've learned, is that slow is fast, fast is slow. And you'll hear that a lot, I think, in the tech world, especially with building things, because the more frustrated you get, the worse that prompt is going to be. Yeah, because it's going to pick up on that frustration, and then it'll try overcorrecting itself, and then it just kind of turns into generally a big mess. So here's some examples of some things that we can build. This is not an all-inclusive list. Everything from helping organization to general marketing, staff SOPs. It kind of just, like I said, it just really depends on what aspect of your business you're looking for the help in. And the assistance, I shouldn't really say help. So this is the 6-week build path. This is probably more of a general layout than it is anything definitive, just because one day we may move super fast and be able to get into kind of that next phase. But at the end of the time, we want to be able to demo the product and then have you kind of, what's that next plan? Is it, is the product you've done, is it doing what it needs to do and you want to do the next one? Great. Does it need a little bit more refinement? And that's where anytime in this cohort, I'm fully available on either Slack or Teams or whatever everybody else is on email, to answer questions about, if you got stuck on something, I'm having trouble, I'm trying to get it to do this, but it's doing that. So anytime that you need assistance on anything, that support will be there. But it seems like a quick little cohort, but I think once you see, as you come in, as you see how quickly things move, when you get in there, this is like 6 months, and we're condensing it into 6 weeks. So, but between now and the application ending and the cohort starting, the clearer you can be with what you're looking for it to do, that's kind of the key for the next few weeks. Applications start with a strong problem. No, strong applications start with a problem. We don't need a strong problem. So this is just a little kind of negative, positive thing I put together for kind of where you need to think about and kind of get your headspace in. Do we want people that just want to build an app, want more customers, want to use AI? That's kind of the low end. That's the low-hanging fruit. That's stuff that you guys could probably do in ChatGPT. We want to get you to that next level of where AI can help. Some of the systems I'm building now, the app for the Taste of Bloomington, that's probably the most basic app that I've done, which is weird to think about everything else that I've been doing. But one of the other ones is a conversational restaurant search engine. And that one is actually going to have an agentic AI agent in there to have a conversation with, to be able to find a restaurant. So I'm almost, it's weird because to think of what I'm building today versus a year and a half ago. I mean, I was in your seat a year and a half ago. I was like, what is this? I'm going to tell it and it's going to build me something. And it was this huge epiphany because all this stuff that's been locked up here for years, like I'm just like, hey, let's try this. Let's see what this does. So don't be afraid to experiment with things too, right? If you could have 2 or 3 or 4 ideas, and you could whip up an MVP on something super easy, especially if it's just an intake form or something that simple that, when a form comes in, it alerts you and it answers the questions that the consumer may have. So we don't have to get super deep on this. It's just, I want to be able to have you gain some time back. And I'll keep saying that over and over again because that's where people get lost. Being in the restaurant industry for so long, I see that every day, right? They get so consumed with, they don't want to hire somebody because they'll do it. They don't want to pay somebody. And it's like, well, I had a conversation with somebody at a coffee house in town, and him and his wife run it. And, he keeps telling me that he goes, we don't have enough help. And I was confused by that. And he said, we're always in here on the weekends. We can never take time off. Well, he was trying to run a 15% labor cost, which is half of what a normal restaurant would run. And I sat down with him and I said, in your other business, how much do you pay yourself an hour? And he was like, I don't know, $50 an hour. And I said, how much do you pay a barista? He's like, 15. And I'm like, do the math. I mean, it's as simple as that, right? It's how can I streamline my staffing to where I could be out making $50 an hour and paying somebody 15. So it's a huge disparity in the restaurant industry, especially that the owners think that they have to do everything. But that's why they get burned out. That's why that's why half of them have Facebook as a website because they don't want to take the time to take that off their plate. It'll just keep chasing them. So if there's things that are chasing you that are very, very redundant, same questions getting answered on email and phone call and things like that, there's a way to take that time back. So this is kind of the general layout of what I envision your problem statement to be. The first part is the struggle. The second part is the impact. Third is your current approach, and fourth is the goal. And just kind of think about that in terms of where you see a problem, because the other thing you're going to find as well may not be a problem. You might just be approaching it a little bit wrong or a little bit differently. And how can to me, that's a quick fix, right? It's super simple. It may not even take coding something. You may be able to just change the way you're doing it, and then we can go to the next problem. So it's kind of just these little baby steps. So that's kind of really all I had. This is very simple. We're going to make this as easy as possible for everybody to access. If you know somebody out there that is interested in applying that maybe doesn't have a laptop, Binary Heart is going to actually supply them with a laptop for the classes, and then they'll be able to also take that back and use in their business. So we're trying to make this as low as lift as possible. We want as many people in as possible. So questions? Thanks.
How much time in between sessions should one plan to put into the program?
If we take advantage of the cohort time every week efficiently, I would not expect more than 30 minutes in between the two. Because if we're kind of targeting the things that we have on the task for the day, there shouldn't be too much to do to the next week. we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, right? Because we'll have 15 to 20 people. We want to keep everybody moving on the same path. But if we are running things that smoothly, I would love to see people focus on maybe the ideation of their second problem. Because if we move through this at a good pace, we might be able to get some conversation started on that second one and then send you guys off with that. What are some examples of some things you guys are thinking about for possible projects? And I haven't looked at any of the applications yet, so I don't know what you put on there, Paul.
Well, mine is all surrounding the electric vehicle club and wanting to get a good digital front end basically for the thing. Because in Vegas, we didn't have that, and it was a lot of my time updating websites, social media posting, that kind of stuff. So here we're talking about building the websites, creating the social media channels, and trying to create some level of automation so that uploading content, keeping this website up to date is a much less labor-intensive process.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping the website up to date in a more automated way.
Yeah, things like calendar events. You put a calendar event and they can populate to the social media channels.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing, whatever the workflow is, that's the part I don't know either. But I think that's the most basic thing.
Makes sense. I'm looking at Replit really quickly because I saw before when I was looking at this, but just trying to familiarize myself with it just a little bit. Pretty cool that the city granted for a year membership. That's for each person's website.
Yeah, when we were originally looking at it, we were looking at like what would 30 or 60 days look like. And to me, you can't really build something that you're going to take back with you knowing that it's going to end.
Right.
Because I feel like the longer the subscription is, and you getting in there, because every time you build something, you're going to be surprised at what the next one looks like. And then the next one, and you get to that third or fourth project, and you look back at the first one, and you're like, God, why did I even, what was I even doing there?
As all things progress, exactly. You said you currently use it too. Do you?
I don't build in Replit anymore.
You don't build in Replit?
I use Cursor as my kind of my building engine, which is like the front end of Replit. It's conversational in terms of the data input. Then I use Supabase as a database, and I use Render to display it to display the website in the app.
Okay.
So that's more of a production model.
Yes.
Which you guys aren't. Paul, we might have to look at like what user base would look like and maybe move that out of Replit. But you can get the base going and get everything up and running on that.
You learn the basics of how do I go about solving a problem with this conversational style solution.
Yep.
I think that's, knowing that's where it starts, and that's kind of like what this is surrounding, makes it more accessible, because everything that you're talking about, like, I have not entered into that world yet. I learned a little bit when I went down, there was the, was it Tech Week or something like that, where there was one of the sessions where they built their own app down there too, and so I was familiar. I got to see something where it was like the back, and then you get to see the app in real time and all that. But
Was that Tech Week here last year?
It was Innovation Week.
Oh, Innovation Week. Yeah.
There's one of the things that was down there, but yeah, that was my first introduction into even like how it's possible to do something like that, and I've not worked with Claude or any of those to do it. But
I mean, it's crazy to think that you can literally, and it's so different now than when I started, because things are becoming more inclusive of access to other things. But Windows Gemini, you can tie that into Teams, to Slack, to your email. Like you could wake up in the morning and it will literally tell you what your day looks like, what emails you need to respond to. Here's some drafts. Do you want to send? Do you want to delete? Do you want to edit? And I mean, just I can't wrap my hands around that.
no.
I'm like, I don't know if I need that much automation. But just to solve business problems, it has tremendous potential. One of the apps I'm building that's restaurant operations focused. The idea with that is that a restaurant owner, because they don't have time to do data entry, they can take pictures of all their invoices, upload them into the system parses all that data, and then we can build inventory sheets, they can compare prices between vendors, with as simple as just taking a photo. And I mean, that was the technology I was building with last year. Now, when we start adding agents and agentic agents and things like that in, it's just, I mean, the possibilities, I don't want to say are endless, because I'm sure it ends somewhere.
But it feels like it right now, yeah.
Yeah, and for most business restaurant owners, I mean, the ones that have Facebook as a webpage, we can gain them 30 hours a week of their life back. Very,
I
very
think
easily.
For me, one of the things that's important, especially addressing some of your questions, is we are going to see a wide spectrum of what familiarity people already have. Because now we're starting to get into a world where people have started playing with it and have some level of experience. But I think there is still a very large group of the population that still feels very intimidated by AI. And this is just an entry point. And once you realize how easy it is to learn from it, to use it in a way that feels comfortable, to explore the different tool choices that are available to you, you will be able to continue your own learning well beyond what we can cover in 66 weeks.
Yeah. And that ties in with that length of that subscription, is I want you guys to be able to go back to that and keep building, because that's how you get interesting and good at it. I mean, it's crazy. You could literally just tell it, hey, I've got 4 Excel spreadsheets. I need to put all this down. I did that the other day at the office, and it literally built a dashboard for Katie and Hannah to use for events. I mean, bar graphs, spreadsheets, data comparisons.
This happened. Literally happened.
Yeah.
I was able to give all of the students their feedback in 5 minutes because it went to an Airtable form. I told Claude, hey, go find that Airtable data, parse it out amongst the different student groups verbatim, so you didn't change any of the language for me. And if they said, yes, we are willing to be contacted, the contact information is there, right? Like I did that in 5 minutes when that would have taken copy and paste.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how big or small of a problem you're solving. The problem is if you're not turning to AI at all because it feels just intimidating.
Yeah.
I think we've had this conversation, before I started this, did you have any questions? You might keep it, like.
She's going to take it over. I'm just saying.